When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Experience everything Springdale has to offer. Visit ExploreSpringdale.com or download the new Explore Springdale app. It's the best place to discover all there is to do and see in Springdale. We'll help you explore our many eateries and attractions and introduce you to our shopping, arts, parks, and trails. You'll also find links to our great hotels and meeting venues. Download the new Explore Springdale app or visit ExploreSpringdale.com to begin your Springdale adventure.
I am the March 2024 Springdale Spotlight winner.
The February 2024 winner of Springdale Spotlight.
I was the winner of the May 2024 Springdale Spotlight.
I'm the Springdale Spotlight winner of summer 2024.
Use the hashtag Springdale Family when posting about the great things happening in our school.
You could win a prize pack just like this.
So don't forget, take it and tag it.
And you may be the next winner.
Hashtag
Springdale
Family.
Goodbye, guessing. Hello, confidence. So long, stress. Hello, security. Farewell, running to the bank. Hello, banking from anywhere. Get a quick view of your balance, block lost debit cards, and quickly deposit checks anywhere, anytime with the highly rated Arvest Go mobile app from Arvest Bank. Goodbye, limits. Hello, possibilities.
Hi, I'm Mary Jordan. Springdale Public Schools is launching a free weekly podcast called Springdale Today, which will feature news relevant to Springdale families. Springdale Today will feature educational news, district staff and students, as well as influential members of the Springdale community. I hope you'll join us for the free Springdale Today podcast as new episodes are released Wednesdays at noon on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. I look forward to chatting with you more about what's happening in Springdale today.
With an auto loan from United Federal Credit Union, you can stop waiting for that new car and just drive. Whether you're taking the whole family on a road trip or just want to cruise around the block in style, we've got cool deals for your new wheels. For a limited time, you can choose from $100 cash back or 90 days with no payments. Just take a United auto loan for a spin. Visit unitedfcu.com/justdrive today. United Federal Credit Union. We get you.
No, because we didn't get to practice with it.
Oh, I don't get a solo on watermelon. Bad boy still steals watermelon. I got it. Yep. I know how to play trombone. Yep.
I just want to help you today.
Here, you gonna sit? Nope.
I have a garden.
I didn't have to do anything. Yep, I'm the chosen one. I'm worth what?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Pat Walker Theater. Please respect that all of Springdale School's campuses are tobacco and alcohol free. Also, please note where the closest illuminated exit is. At this time, we ask that all cell phones be silenced or turned off as the event is being professionally recorded. If your child becomes restless, please accompany them to the lobby where the event is live streamed. Thank you for your patronage and enjoy the show.
Buenas tardes, damas y caballeros. Bienvenidos al Teatro Pat Walker. Por favor, respecte que todas las escuelas de Springdale Schools están libres de tabaco y alcohol. Además, tenga en cuenta dónde está la salida limonada más cerca. En este momento pedimos que todos los teléfonos celulares se silencien o se apaguen y que el evento se está grabando profesionalmente. Si su hijo se vuelve inquieto, acompáñelo al lobby donde se realiza la transmisión en vivo del evento. Gracias por su patrocinio y disfruten del espectáculo.
Yagoin ralap ngan kom ka jojo ko mi jiru wayne ne ngan Pat Walker Theater jojum claim ko de alip campo joko an Springdale jugol go enwot ke etala kajarawat ragin karak yim Chicago ye parenwot jojum lale ijo ebago yo kimi kalikar che ain chicken rojalako ilo yenin che kachidak pa aleben talabon ko rankun enwot ke yin che rakodiye Elange ajuriyo lijum en ajmugum chijadot jojum pogalak ngan labio yim raj parpjagi programin. Komol kanam nat karajar yim echuani eneo enach lemananangan yok.
All right, good evening. We want to welcome you to our 2025 Springdale High School Band's Spring Concert. We are very, very, very thankful that you are here with us. We are very excited to showcase our students' work over the last month or so after concert assessment. We are really, really proud of the students that you'll see tonight. Front of stage, behind the curtain, and you'll see another group. We have 3 groups performing tonight, a lot of great music, and so we will start without further ado. We're just really thankful you're here. If you don't mind, as the announcement said, please go ahead and silence cell phones. Very important to stay seated until there's a break in the music if you do need to leave. And then other than that, we just hope you really enjoy the music that we prepared for you this evening. I will say tonight is a special tribute to our seniors, and you will see many of them in action. Without hesitation, I will say this has been a really special group of students, seniors and non-seniors, and so we're really excited for them tonight to make some great memories. We do want to thank our superintendent, Dr. Jarrett Cleveland, our principal, Jason Jones, and our student services coordinator, Damon Donnell, for all the wonderful support we have from our admin. We are very, very blessed here at Springdale to have great people that are behind us. So without further ado, the first group that you will see this evening is the Springdale High School Jazz Ensemble. They are under the direction of Sarah Mendoza.
That first tune was Bad Guy, a Billie Eilish song arranged by Roger Holmes, featuring guitar soloist Michael Rodriguez. Bad Guy reached #1 on the charts in 2019, and Billie Eilish became the first artist born in the 2000s to reach #1 in the Hot 100. Our next piece this evening is Portugal the Man tune called Feel It Still, arranged by John Barry. Our next tune, Groove Merchant, arranged by Rich Siglert, was made famous by the Thad Jones Mel Lewis Band in the 1970s. The chart has a really interesting gospel rock groove with a cool development section in the middle. There are a couple soloists on this piece, senior trombone player Jeffy Polanco and senior trumpet player Andrew Villegas. All right, before we close our portion of tonight's concert, we have an award to give out to one of our jazz band members. The Louis Armstrong Award, or sometimes called the King Bee Award, is the top senior jazz award or highest level interscholastic award given to students at high schools in the United States. It is given in recognition of outstanding musical achievement and an incredible dedication to the program. It can only be given to one senior per school per year. The student receiving this award is someone who I think has been incredibly reliable and always comes to rehearsals with a great attitude and is always extremely prepared. During the first semester, he was literally the only trumpet player in the group, which is quite a lot of pressure. And because you don't have other players to fall back on if you don't know your music, that can be tough. He is an incredible musician, and it has been such a privilege to see him grow over the past few years, both in concert band, but especially in jazz. This year's Louis Armstrong Award goes to Christopher Granados. The jazz band will close their portion of tonight's concert with Watermelon Man, arranged by Mark Kamuff. This is a jazz staple written in 1962 by Herbie Hancock. The soloist for this piece is an all-state flute player on tenor saxophone, Adam Johnson. Also, just so you know, after this tune, there will be a short break so that we can move all this stuff off the stage and prepare for the next group. Thank you. The group on stage now is the Springdale High School Symphonic Band. We will be opening our portion of this evening's concert with a piece called Heartland March by Randall Standridge. This piece is in traditional march structure, but the melodies were inspired by fiddle tunes and folk melodies. Here is Heartland March. Before we move on to our next piece, I really want to take a second to express my sincerest gratitude for my band director teammates. As some of you know, I was out for several months this semester on maternity leave, and my daughter Amelia was born on December 31st on New Year's Eve. And my amazing coworker, Angel Malden, filled in for me and directed the symphonic band in my absence. She did phenomenal work with them during that time, and I'm so thankful to have Angel and the rest of the Lakeside and George band directors there to take care of my band children while I took care of my biological child. So could we please have a round of applause for Mrs. Malden and the other directors? Our next piece is called Hymn Song Variants by Robert W. Smith. This piece is a theme and variation, meaning that the melody is introduced to you at the beginning of the piece, and then as the piece progresses, the melody is presented in many additional ways. Maybe the rhythm changes, or the harmony changes, or the instrumentation. So as you listen for the original melody throughout the entire piece. Soloist for this piece is Marian Moya on euphonium. Before finishing our portion of tonight's concert, I have a couple awards to hand out to members of the symphonic band. The first award being the Bulldog Award. This is an award we created to recognize students who have shown immense improvement during their time in our program. This student in particular is a senior who has only been in band for 1 year. However, he has been an integral part of our ensemble, both in marching band and concert season. He was a fast learner, incredibly responsible, and was vital to the success of our marching season in the front ensemble. This Bulldog Award goes to Caleb Splinter. The next award is the Director's Award for Band, and is an award that each band director gives out to an outstanding senior member. This award recognizes a student who has demonstrated outstanding dedication, contribution, and character within the band program. The student receiving this award from me this evening is someone who I can heavily rely on. They're always there when you need them, and is always the first to help when there is work to do. During marching season, they stepped up as section leader, and they have been a role model through the entirety of the year. This year's Director's Award for Symphonic Band goes to Angel Camacho. And lastly, I would like to take a moment to recognize the Symphonic Band seniors, most of whom have dedicated 6 years to the Springdale Band program. They have all grown as leaders in their own rights, and Mr. Stevens and I are just so proud of the young adults that they have become and will continue to be after they graduate. The friends you make in band are some of the best friends you have for the rest of your lives, and I hope they remember and hold on to that. Symphonic Band seniors, please stand up and be recognized for all of the accomplishments you have had in your band career. To close out our portion of tonight's concert, we will end with a song that really needs no introduction. We all know that it is one of the greatest songs ever written. First released in 1975, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen remains to this day to be just as popular as when it was first released. At the conclusion of this song, we will have one more short set change before the wind ensemble performs.
All right, thank you for your patience. And for the last act of the evening, we really excited about what you've already heard, jazz band and symphonic band. It's been a great night, and so we will continue with the wind ensemble under my direction, Julia Stevens. We're going to start with the tune that is a really popular new work, Wicked. You might have seen it on, I don't know if it's Netflix or Prime, wherever it's on. It's a really great story. It's kind of prequel to Wizard of Oz and the Good Witch and the Bad Witch and all of that, minus Toto. I don't think Toto's in Wicked, but we are excited to play some really great music for you. You will hear soloist, flute, Adam Johnson. Let's wait until the end. It's all good. Adam's legit though. He's great. Oboe, Rosalind Guzman, clarinet on Angela Hort, and then you'll also hear French horn solo from Glenn Nolan. So without further ado, we will start with Wicked. Going to be a little bit of the Wizard of Oz, and we're going to open the curtains and start. So here we go. if you haven't gotten to see the new Wicked, you got to check it out. It is really, really good. All right, so before we go on to our second tune tonight, we are going to talk about some great individuals. Everyone on stage is a really great part of this ensemble. We're really proud of them all, but we do have some special awards to give tonight, and we're going to start with the outstanding sophomores. It is no joke when I say that we have multiple awards because it is really that difficult to choose between any number of students. So we do have 3 outstanding sophomore awards, and we just couldn't give it to one. So all 3 of them deserve, this award. The first one is a young man who has come to us from one of our junior highs. This first year as a 10th grader, he has stepped into some roles that we haven't had in this ensemble in a long time, since Ms. Mendoza and I have been here. This instrument is an interesting looking one, and the sounds that come from his version of this instrument are glorious. So without further ado, on bassoon, you'll get to hear him here in just a second on our second tune. It is Adiel Herbeans. Come on up, Adiel. If you don't know Adiel, you just met him. This guy is a rock star. He's actually like the quietest rock star ever. He is doing really well in bassoon, and he's just in 10th grade. He actually did get an opportunity to make All-State through some events that allowed him to come up, and he had a great time. This young lady is really one of the most even keel, like focused 10th graders. We have a wonderful bunch of 10th graders and varying bits of focus throughout all that, but this young lady just comes to school every day. She's just locked in. She is just an amazing young person and a great player on her instrument, and is already kind of a leader. She doesn't think she's a leader, but she is just by the way she carries herself. Let's give it up for Miss Joanna Aguilar. I warned you, it's really hard to choose between, we could have given it to 10 sophomores, but the third, and definitely not least among the outstanding sophomores this year, this young man, very, very focused on his instrument, plays at a high level already, very expressive player as he plays, and I just learned something about him this weekend or Friday when I got to watch the musical, which there are many people on stage that had a wonderful part in our musical in the Heights, and this guy started the whole thing, man, came out, knocked it down with a dance routine, like, who's that kid? Just killed it, and I didn't know that he had it inside of him, but John Martinez. And if you pay him some money, he might do the dance for you, man. It was legit. This guy's spectacular. All right, outstanding juniors. We have another bunch of just really outstanding young people. This young lady grew a lot as an instrumentalist this year. She ended up making All-State on her instrument, and this instrument is one that is not easy to make because there's gobs of these musicians out there, and they play the clarinet. This young lady is very soft-spoken, but plays at a very high level and just does anything that you ask of her. Miss Angela Hort. Okay. This young person plays an instrument, of course, and I got a chance to go with this person on the All-State trip. It was postponed with the snow and all that, and it was really cool to see, like, the personality, I should say, of this young man. Sometimes he can be very rambunctious and very passionate, but I saw like a side of him that's just pretty chill, super intelligent, and a great flute player. Already heard him play. This evening, Mr. Adam Johnson. And he's really good at Smash Brothers. He's like a boss at Smash Brothers. Okay, outstanding seniors. We will start this by saying, and I love what Ms. Mendoza said about the symphonic band seniors. There's a great bunch of students there that have been leaders for her and that group, and Ms. Malden. And then there's been a huge chunk of seniors here, and so we will honor them all as a group for the evening. But these two individuals have done some really amazing things this year. So this guy plays a wonderful instrument, and he made All-State this year after trying for 3 years, made his way up the totem pole there, kept working. Ms. Mendoza recalls that he was scared to play for people when he was in 10th grade, and now he's an All-State French horn player. Adrian Hernandez. All right, and last but definitely not least at all, this young lady is a leader through and through, inside, outside, everything she does it with a kind of just a really warm spirit. She's very, very easy to work with, and she's really done an amazing amount of work throughout this whole year. Most of it behind the scenes. You just ask her to get it done, and this young lady just gets it done. And so on her flute this year, she came a long way, and she might be in a movie. I don't know, man. They did a close-up of her, but let's give it up for the one and only Tegan Stewart. Tegan special. Don't embarrass her, she's still got to play. And she plays well, All right, this one, I think I might have to go over and grab it, but it's a perfect time. This is my director's award, and this individual actually probably already knows that he has it, but there's probably no other young person that I've seen over the course of my 21 years, I know I don't look that old, who has grown as much as this individual has. When he came to us, pretty cool kid, he's always been a cool kid, but when he came to us, level musicianship was there, and he has just grown and grown and grown. He kind of held together our drum line through various things, and so this guy is none other than Paygoat, Peyton Holmesley. All right, while we're going, we're going to finish just a couple more, and then we'll have one more set at the end. These two awards are pretty spectacular. Ms. Mendoza, do you mind helping me grab these next two awards? I'll show you which ones they are. These two awards come with a kind of a pretty big moniker. The first award is called the Arion Award. The Arion Award was established in 1948, just a couple years ago, to give national recognition to junior and senior class members, whichever one you wanted to choose, chosen by their schools for outstanding achievement in band, orchestra, or chorus. Students who receive the Arion Award attain both academic, really smart young man, and just community standing as far as their skills and their abilities, and just does so much. Demonstration of exceptional personal and professional performing ability and musicianship. It's one of the highest levels you can get. This will go into a national database, and so this young man will be kind of featured out there in cyberspace forever and ever. And this goes to none other than Glenn Noland. Okay, and then the very last one of this set. Glenn, I wouldn't go too far. So this award is even at a kind of even a higher level because it's named after a guy by the name of John Philip Sousa, one of the best bandmasters and march king ever. John Philip Sousa Award is one of the highest honors in a high school band across the country and goes to the most outstanding band student. The award was started in 1954 and has been given, across the United States. The award recognizes young musicians displaying superior musicianship, leadership, dependability, loyalty, and cooperation. And without further ado, the John Philip Sousa Award winner for 2025 is, again, Glenn Noland. Okay, we are going to go on to our second tune. You will be excited to see a feature that is beyond any feature I've seen. We ended up not playing this during assessment and kind of let it grow and even improve. And so tonight you get to hear Adiel on bassoon playing one of the most famous and best bassoon solos in band literature. You're going to get to hear this guy play. So here is the second movement, Four Scottish Dances. We're going to play one little tuning note, just they've been sitting for a while, and we'll get into it. All right, and before our last performance this evening, we are going to do the last little bit and then jump into it. First of all, I do want to thank, in the auditorium or in the PAC lobby, we do have SAID music here. They are kind of featuring instruments that students can get into. We're starting to try to encourage students to go that direction and to step up their instruments when they can. So we would love to have you guys at the end of this concert just walk by, say hello. Also on the back of your program, you'll see SAID, Palin as our sponsors, and also the Schmeeding Foundation. That is an organization that has given us a ton of money for lessons, and we've been able to see our students grow tremendously from that investment. So we thank all of those sponsors, and let's give them a round of applause. They've been great. All right, if you made All-State on this stage, go ahead and stand, and let's give these All-Staters a huge round of applause. All-State musicians, go and stand. All-State is one of the highest achievements an Arkansas band student can achieve, and so they have done an amazing job. We had a great trip going to Maumelle, and I'm really proud of them. All the seniors in the group, so I don't forget, every senior that is a part of the Wind Ensemble, please go ahead and stand, and let's give you a huge round of applause. All seniors stand. As you can tell, they really are the heart and soul of this ensemble and all the seniors in both bands and the jazz band. I will just say it's been a really amazing experience to see these kids grow, and they're just real close to all the staff's heart. We thank them for all of their work so much. Also, too, I would be remiss to not say we have an amazing staff that's just top-notch, and Ms. Mendoza kind of mentioned some special help that happened during the symphonic band, but all the way up from the middle schools up, Zachary Whitworth at Sonora, James Hendricks at J.O. Kelly, and then the Lakeside team, Angel Malden and Colby Palmore, and then the George team, Kennedy Chastain and Logan Morris. Please give them a huge, huge, huge round of applause. We cannot do what we do without them, and the amount of teamwork that goes on in this place and all the junior highs and middle schools are really, really amazing. We have a great team, and we're very thankful. We would also like to thank Ms. Eichenberger, who's our fine arts secretary. She's kind of the wind beneath our wings as an organization, does an amazing job, and is just really an amazing person. Ms. Eichenberger, let's give her a huge round of applause. She works tirelessly for our students. As Ms. Mendoza mentioned, we have just amazing families that support us greatly. Ms. Mendoza, Jasper, her husband, and Amelia, her little newborn babe. And then I have my wife, Kara, and my two boys, Luke and Layton. So we're very thankful for all of them. They're an amazing bunch. I also want to thank our band boosters. We have, once you start going down a list of names, you get in trouble, but there's one name that I gotta mention. And we have an amazing bunch of parents and some great families, really some of the best we've had in the 8 years we've been here. But this one individual has led the whole thing and has worked an amazing amount of hours putting together banquets and all sorts of things. And so can we please give a huge bulldog round of applause to Miss Melissa Stewart, our band booster president. Parents, we also want to thank you. We believe that we teach at one of the best schools in the country, and we have great students, and consequently, we have great parents that are part of our organization. We thank you for all the work and all the time, getting them to rehearsals at 7:50 every morning, and just allowing them to be great students. So we appreciate you thoroughly, and we're so thankful. All right, we have a list of Bulldog Awards, and that will be the last bit before our last song. So our Bulldog Awards. are really an amazing bunch of students that have really, in one way or another, just done an amazing job. Maybe it's been coming early to rehearsal, helping, playing well. Maybe they started in the third band and went second band all the way up to first band. There's just a number of reasons why these individuals would have gotten them. So I'll go ahead and grab them all, Ms. Mendoza. All right, this guy has grown like probably no other, maybe as much as Peyton's grown, as he's come to our organization. Started in third band, I believe, if I have my data right, and made it all the way to clarinet soloist at senior night in our marching show. One of the coolest cats out there. He's just even keel and just does his job. Leo Regia. Leo's like no other. This young lady has also grown a lot on her instrument, all the way up from symphonic band. I'm not sure if she was ever in the third band, but made her way up. She ended up saving our season really 2 years in a row by playing a new instrument that she had absolutely zero instruction on, and just figured it out at a high level. And she played in our front ensemble and now plays flute in this top group. She has come from really just, she's just done an amazing job. Always has a bright smile on her face and just does, gives you 100%. Katrishka Kabeza. Said, thanks for saving the season. All right, this young lady just works as hard as I've probably seen any high school student in maybe my 21 years of teaching. One of the hardest workers I've seen. Always just there asking, hey, is there anything you need, Mr. Stevens, Ms. Mendoza, Ms. Eichenberger, and ended up really doing a great job with our loading crew this year and previous years. And so Dakota Elmore, come on up. All right, this guy, if I have my data right, he can correct me if I'm wrong. I think he made it all the way from third band. I know he made it all the way up from second band. That's an amazing thing when you see those students grow. And so one of the biggest and loudest and beautifulest, most beautiful sounds on the bass clarinet, Mr. Max Rax. All right, and he gave me a head nod. He said, yeah, I was in third band all the way up. So that's an amazing accomplishment. And last but not least, and I hope I haven't forgotten anybody or anything, this young man, I remember him at George as a junior high instrumentalist, and was always super excited because I knew he was super talented. And then over the last several years, especially this last year and a half, he just like became a different version of himself. Real calm, collected, playing his tail off on his instrument. Just happens to be the trumpet, and this guy is Andrew Villegas. And he's got a really good jump shot. And last thing, we'll play our last song and you are out of here. We really appreciate your attendance this evening. It's been a great, great, great evening of music. We're really proud of all three of these ensembles. Let's give a huge round of applause for all the students one more time. And I think the thing that I know our staff is probably most proud of is just that there's a family in this group, and we're really proud of them, how close they've gotten as a group, all of our band, Springdale High School Band, and so we're very, 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 very thankful. We will close our portion with a piece called The Witch and the Saint. It's real programmatic. It kind of sounds like Wicked almost in a way. And you'll hear featured on oboe, Rosalind Guzman, bass clarinet, Ashley Soto. I did say bass clarinet. You don't hear bass clarinet often. And then euphonium, Brandon Perez. Also didn't make it on the program. It's my fault. But Glenn Nolan does have an appearance as well. So without further ado, here is Witch and the Saint. We appreciate your attendance tonight. That's all, folks. Thank you so much for being a great audience. Have a wonderful ride home. Seniors, let's take a picture. Seniors, let's take a picture up here real fast.